Hello and welcome to the Average Initiative, the average podcast by average guys that know an average amount about an average amount. And we're going to talk about it anyway. Don't know why I said that like that, but it's going to go in there now. My name is Lewis.
I'm George. By this point, people know the drill. If you
Yeah,
don't,
they do. If you're a new
actually,
listener,
no, you may be because of our Harry Potter episode. So hello, welcome.
Welcome. Yes, if you're a new listener, we're two guys that know stuff about some stuff like movies and TV shows and comic books and games and books
Eggs
and eggs.
eggs.
And we talk about it anyway.
In advance.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do mention eggs quite a lot, unfortunately. I blame George for
calling
that.
it the average incentive. She was like, oh, "Are you going to go do your incentive podcast?" And I was like, "Please don't call it that. It sounds like a pyramid scheme."
The average incentive.
Yeah.
At least she didn't accidentally come up with something better, because that would have been really depressing.
Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. Don't tell her that. She'll be like, "Oh, I thought it."
Okay. Sorry, George's mum.
Well, I should only just subscribed to it last week, so you know.
Oh.
She's... But no, when my nephew does a performance of Baba Black Sheep at nursery, oh, it's a new wallpaper. Oh yeah.
Was it good though? I can guarantee it's probably better than our podcast.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe I should start a podcast with him.
Maybe
call it like the Humpty Dumpty initiative.
And just talk about like what he's. That wouldn't be too bad actually. Just talk about whatever's on his mind.
Yeah, what's going on in a mind of a child? Mm-hmm. We've got that already because we're here. So.
Well, that's true. But then,
fine.
I told you he's currently obsessed with Mario. Like, I mean, everything Mario Kart.
He's on the right path, I suppose.
He is, but like to the point where he wants to play like Mario Kart, Mario Party in person, and he's like, "You can be Mario, I'll be Luigi." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, what does that mean?
I mean, the fact that he's choosing Luigi for himself is not a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, it was Bowser last week.
Oh, that's better than Luigi.
He could go. I'm Bowser, but I'm nice. I'm a nice Bowser. All right, kid. Look, cool.
He's gonna go far in life, potentially.
Hopefully, I can just ride his coattails in.
Yeah, that's the only reason people have kids, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, let them get famous, and you're just like, "Oh yeah, I'm that famous person's dad."
Yeah. That's the only reason I'm gonna have kids, so they can pay for everything.
Yeah.
After I've paid for everything for 20 years. Anyway, George,
sorry,
what are we talking about today?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, last week, after we decided we were going to do our Harry Potter episode, finally get around to it, Marvel decided to come out and announce a load of new projects and upcoming films and TV series and streaming series and all sorts. So we're going to just kind of cover those really and just give our general take on it. And then, because the, podcast gods are looking down on us, the podcasts. Pogs. Yep, the Pogs are looking down on us. I hate you so much sometimes. They also released the first trailer for the upcoming Venom sequel. Venom,
when you say Carnage. They, is this the same people or is this Sony?
Yes, this was the Pogs. The Pogs released it.
Oh, the Pogs.
released it. Yeah. Okay, this was Sony, but they kind of were Marvel.
Do you want to talk about that first, or do you want
the Sony Marvel relationship or Venom?
Bit of both.
Yeah, go on then.
Just because. So obviously, if you haven't seen it, the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer has released, and there's.
Well, you may not have seen it because it was very dark and very poorly lit.
All right, Mr. Film Degree.
You got one too.
Oh yeah, I forget.
No, you got 2-1.
Nah, you don't remind me. It haunts me to this day. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So is this related? Is this in the MCU or not?
Well, no, but Tom Holland is signed on for a Sony Spider-Man project.
Because I've been reading the comments and people are saying there's a Spider-Man reference in the trailer, but I haven't watched it enough times to find it.
I think there's a spider crawling across a desk and a character squishes it with his hand.
Oh, so that's just more like a fun little nod.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously in the comics, Venom comes from the symbiote suit.
Venom.
Spider-Man. Oh, Venom. Which kind of imitates Spider-Man and his abilities, and that's where Venom is born from.
But in the Venom film, they decided to not have Spider-Man, and so it makes no sense.
Yeah, so it's just this big, goopy, sticky monster
that likes waffles.
Yeah, and then
And
there's a bad
lobsters.
one who just kind of copies off him. So it's a bit
Yeah.
odd, really. Um,
That
I
first
mean,
film, we were talking about this the other day, and we were saying like, have you ever fallen asleep during a cinema? Wait, we
mhm,
were talking about this, weren't we?
yeah,
But I remember now that the only film that I've fallen asleep the first time I watched it was Venom,
really.
because of the
You,
final battle is just two Venoms just smashing each other. Like there's
yeah,
nothing,
and
there was
it's
nothing interesting about about their powers. Like they weren't differentiated. I know
no.
Marvel does that a lot, but
Also, in that first film, they were black. One was black with white accents, and the other one was white with black accents. And they did it in at nighttime on like a big dark metal container. So, like, what were
yeah,
we meant to be seeing?
it was
Like,
it was literally just like goopy effects, just running at
hmm.
each other.
And I have a feeling this is going to be very similar because an evil Venom is basically what they did to the last film.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that
Only
like they,
this
they
one's
do
like a
something
serial killer.
interesting. Yeah, they might. They got to do something interesting with Carnage's powers. Like you know how you got different Green Lanterns and they differentiate them by the different constructs they make, and it's
Yeah,
sort of based around their personality. I'm sort of hoping they do that. So
yeah. So
obviously
you
you
mean
got
like how?
Cletus Cassidy, as he says, is a like a mass murderer, psychopath. So I'm
Hmm,
hoping the things he does with his venomy powers sort of reflect that, whereas Eddie Brock's more, run and punch and jump.
yeah, and like after things like The Boys and Invincible, and I feel like there's this shift going towards like, oh, you can do less, and I suppose Deadpool really
Hmm.
is like there's a shift of you can do less family friendly elements with these
Joker as
films.
well.
Yeah, and Joker, and but like really showing the visceral stuff, like
Hmm.
you know,
Like squishing people's
like
heads.
yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So when you've got essentially a character that's a serial killer version of Spider-Man with goopy powers, like that's probably your only chance you can do some really brutal stuff with it. And they're
Yeah.
just, I just can't see them doing that. But I know Venom was a 15 last time, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I know obviously in America it's R rated, but that can cover 15 and 18 in England
Mm.
or UK rather. So I don't know because they said this is going to be R rated, but I don't know if that means 15 or 18. So I don't know how far they're going to go in
Yeah, I mean,
that
what's
sense.
things like the boys and that? Are they 15s? Are they?
Do you know what?
Because
I
I
don't know.
can't work out the differentiation is.
Are they on it? It's on Amazon, isn't it? Or is that
Yeah,
Netflix?
what's that?
The Boys.
Boys is Amazon.
Okay, let me have a look. Just quick.
So is Invincible. The pair of them are.
Yeah. Have you watched Invincible yet?
I've watched the first episode, and then I found pretty much everything has already been leaked on YouTube. So I've just watched the kind of key scenes on that
Oh, you should have watched the
because
whole thing. It's
I
so
should
good.
have, but I stupidly spoiled myself because I watched a like full story of the Invincible character by someone on YouTube, and I was like, oh, so
Was
I
that
just
Key
know the
Issues?
story. Yeah,
Yeah, I watched the one for I think it was or it might have been Omni Man. I can't remember, but yeah, and so that was
mm,
sort of spoiled season 2 for me. But it's
yeah.
still worth watching. I really enjoyed it.
So yeah, I mean, the bits I've seen, as I've seen all
Mm.
the key moments and the key scenes, and it's like, oh, okay, I can get on board with this.
Mm.
But I feel like I'd have to watch it on my own. And given at the minute I'm working out my bedroom, I'm like, I don't want to spend as much time in here as possible.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And I'm like, that's not the kind of thing I can go, hey, let's watch this new series downstairs on the big family TV.
I'm sure your family can handle it, or is it not really their thing?
I watched Kingsman with them a couple of years ago when that came out, and I've been banned from picking films ever since, unless they are from Marvel or like superheroes, because
Right.
of the church scene in Kingsman Secret Service.
Oh, it's a good scene.
I
Oh,
still maintain it's one of the best films made, like recently, especially. And yet, nope, because of that one scene, I've just been vetoed out of any decision.
Jesus. Well,
Mhm.
I looked up The Boys and it is 18 and over. So
Is it really?
yeah, that's what it
Wow.
says on Amazon. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it makes sense, like just how much gore is in it, and there's sex scenes in it as well. So
Yeah, but it's not like you see anything in the sex scenes, is it?
wow, you don't
Yeah,
see
but like,
you don't see P and V, but you pretty much see everything else.
do you see bees?
Depends what you mean by B.
Lady bees?
Boobies?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Honestly
Yeah.
can't remember, but there is a bit where someone's breastfeeding someone. So
Hmm.
I think,
Yeah.
or
I don't.
have I just made that up in my mind? I don't
Well,
even
no, I don't
know.
know because I know that's like usually that's like the benchmark. If you've got full on exposure, then that's usually like yes, that's at least a 15.
You see
I sound
Homelander's
really
bum.
I sound really creepy by knowing this. hang on, bear with. But like only because I know Deadpool's a 15, but then I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
it is.
Deadpool is as gruesome as this.
I think
But then I suppose
Deadpool's
in parts
quite
it is. But
cartoony, I suppose, because most of the gore in Deadpool, I think, comes from him.
yeah, well, there's that bit where he flings the guy into the road sign, isn't it? And he's just like mulch.
Yeah, true. But then you don't see him like, hmm.
But it's
No,
not
I feel
like
like
the
I need to
focus of
rewatch
it.
Deadpool.
Whereas something
Yeah.
like I'm trying to think of the second one as well, but even then I don't know there is.
Was
Then
was Joker at 15?
Joker, yeah, it must have been because he has the
Yeah.
whole you get what you fucking deserve, don't he?
Yeah, I just wondered if it was 18, but
No, I think it was only 15.
thinking about it, it probably was 15.
Yeah, I think that they try. The rule of thumb is they try and keep them as low as possible because then obviously they can sell more tickets.
Yeah, true.
So coming back round to what we're talking about, I'm surprised they then made this second Venom film a 12 rather than 15 when they proved the 15 was successful, and it is.
Wait, is this new one a 12?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I thought I read it was going to be R-rated.
I know. It may have been, but I as far as I knew, everything I saw said it was going to be PG-13, which is essentially their 12.
Oh, I thought I read it was going to be R-rated because
I
of
shall
the
fact check
success of
that because
yeah, I suppose that's the whole point of this podcast, isn't it? We're supposed to know these things.
we're the average guys, but we only know the average amount about the average stuff.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so there's a comment here that says this has to be R-rated.
To so what's the one certificate?
Did you just send me a Snapchat, or was that from earlier?
Oh, that's from earlier when the internet was down.
Okay.
Oh,
These comments.
Goddamn dog.
Looks like below PG-13. Well, according to the director, it would be R-rated. Oh, everyone's just saying different things. You can't do Carnage without the gore, though, because he's essentially the Joker, but with a Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Woof.
Oh, this is it's so annoying. It's not even my dog. Like I can't do anything about this. And that's outside my bedroom window. Like I sleep where I am right now, pretty much. Is Tom Holland in Venom 2? All I'm getting is just questions on Google.
Well, I suppose we'll just never know, will we? Apart from when it comes out. When does it come out? September 24th.
I've got September 15th.
Oh, I'm looking at the description of the video.
IMDb.
This is from the Sony Pictures Entertainment channel.
Yeah, my release date says September 15th on IMDb for Venom.
In the description of the YouTube video, it says 24th, but I think maybe it's different in different countries because we tend to get films earlier, don't we?
Yeah, I mean,
and that would be a week earlier.
This says post-production expected September 15th, 2021. So yeah.
Well, either way,
thank you, IMDb.
I didn't even realize we were getting that film this year.
No, there's so much stuff coming out this year that I'm like, oh yeah, of course, because obviously they made it and it's ready to go, but the longer it's just sat on the shelf, they're not getting any money for it. I do like the opening moment where Venom is making him breakfast. I just wish it wasn't such a strong assault on all my senses at once, to the point where I was like, "Oh, I need to take a paracetamol after this," because which I think is just the general vibe for this trailer as a whole.
It just seems like
what is happening.
They're leaning heavily into the comedy, not just the comedy, but like the bits people liked from the first film seems to be amplified in this trailer.
What's the bet? And those are the only moments of that in the whole film.
I mean, that's what happened in the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the idea of them working as a partnership, and But then
even the shopkeeper knows Venom, stuff like that.
Yeah, but by this point, I would have liked to have seen them have better control over it. So it's not a messy breakfast. I know that's because that's what Venom eats. It's just whatever. But it is almost like Eddie's doing his own thing. He's got his coffee and reading his paper, and behind him, Venom is making up this massive breakfast.
Yeah.
There you are. And it's like, how did you learn how to do this? It's like, oh, I've been reading cooking books or watching cooking shows while you've been sleeping. Because it's like, well, of course, yeah. There's a whole separate side to him.
Yeah, I suppose we don't know how long he's been Venom at this point.
Well, I suppose that's true.
For all we know, it could be a month, 2 months after the first film.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the ending to the first film, if I'm being honest.
I think they disagree that they're like in sync. Because do you remember the people coming in? They robbed the shop.
Oh, and then he
and he's like, "We are Venom."
And he eats his head. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then if I mean, again, I don't know how this one's been made, but the way I would have it play out is almost. Family Guy's the only example I can think of, but like the breakfast thing is like, how did you learn to make this? It's like, oh, I was watching that new insert celebrity chef special here last night. What do you mean last night? Well, when I don't always sleep when you're asleep, huh? And then it cuts to Venom as Venom, like following along on a cooking show, trying to make like eggs at like in the middle of the night.
I would like that.
And it's like, yeah, and it's like idea that, oh yeah, hang on, there's a whole separate person, or thing living inside me that, yeah, he's got his own life. So if I'm asleep, he'll just take my body out, and it's, and then there's that whole kind of like, what else have you been doing while I'm asleep? Because we could almost set that up then if
because
knocks...
that I feel like you would have to do something later on in the film that happens with Venom, and the whole time you don't realize that Eddie's just been asleep the whole time.
Yeah,
like he has a whole fight or something. Like,
yeah, so like, have someone knock Eddie out, and he's like, oh, you take this one, all right then. And it's like, oh, never mind. Like, and yeah, or vice versa. You get like, he can't call on Venom at the time, and then after he's like, what the hell were you? He's like, hey, like, that gas or whatever knocked me out for ages. He's like, yeah, but I needed you. He's like, yeah, but I don't sleep for 8 hours every day. Like, how annoying do you think that is? And like you get that good back and forth. It's basically you're doing a buddy cop film with one person.
I'd like that. I think that'd be better than what we got in the first film.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what either go full hard R rated and you've got everything as visceral as possible. Or...
I wonder if they are, because this trailer seems very horror film-esque with the Carnage stuff. So I do wonder if it's going to take like a darker turn, because this doesn't say it's like a red band trailer or anything like that. So obviously this is just like a regular trailer, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they come out with a trailer in a few months. It's like the red band one, and it has like probably more swearing and more blood and Woody Harrelson.
Well, I suppose that's what happened with James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Wasn't it? There's two different trailers, so yeah, maybe it will be a 15 or rated or whatever.
I hope so.
Yeah. Speaking of Woody Harrelson, though, he's got a better wig.
Yeah, he has got the bloody what's that? Not Rosie and Jim or something. What's that?
Yeah.
The funny red wig, like Wendy's. Like, I don't know. Just
they
look ridiculous.
Like the Three Stooges.
It's like you don't need to go that comic accurate. There's certain things that you can leave, on the pages.
You could just leave him bald. Like, really, he doesn't need hair. Like...
But even the few short moments we get of him in this trailer, I honestly think he's going to do a really good job.
Yeah,
because he's a really good actor, and he can do sort of menacing.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what Cletus Cassidy is. He's like a insane psychopath murderer.
Almost like Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men. Like that, just pure chaos.
But even like, or do you know? I don't know why. Have you seen The Green Mile?
Yeah.
Do you know like I think it's Sam Rockwell.
Oh,
he's like a sort of
something Bill.
Yeah, he's like a child molester murderer kind of guy. And I sort of get that kind of vibe. Like Cletus Cassidy has always given me that sort of vibe. Like they're just the worst possible human. And it's like, what if you gave the Venom thing to that guy? And like, it's just never going to turn out well, is it?
That's it. I mean, you it's that typical thing of show don't tell. Like, I no doubt we'll probably get it. But what I don't want is a Suicide Squad route. Like, so who is this Cletus Cassidy guy? Like, oh, he's one of the 21 counts of murder and all this. And it's like, oh no, just like, okay, clearly he's going to escape or get some sort of prison thing, experiment on.
Yeah.
And then just show him being that. So he go, now he realizes, oh, hang on, I've got like knives whenever I want them. And show that he's like proper unhinged. Maybe chuck in a line so you set him up that way. But again, it's all, I could almost mirror what I was saying earlier about the whole Eddie and Venom relationship, where like, they're both sharing the same body, and Venom does stuff when he's sleeping. Like this Carnage, like wants as much bloodshed as he does. So then they're like, well, yeah, fine, whatever. I have no problem with whatever you want to do. Like, you take over at this point, and it's and then that way you can show that they're more accepting than Eddie and Venom are.
That's what I was going to say. Like, they could work together better, like instantly, because they're both just psychos.
Yeah,
and
and it's
they're not at odds with each other. They're just working together.
And like doing in that again, if you want to build Eddie and Venom's relationship, I was going to call him Enem or Vedi.
Enem,
like feel like Vedi, ready, Vedi, go. But again, I mean, this isn't my fanfic, like my thing, but like, if he says like, "When did you learn to do this?" and you do the whole kind of gag, and he's like, "I'm not
Mm.
sure if I'm comfortable with you, using my body while I'm not awake."
Mm.
And he's like, "Well, it's just as much my body now." He's like, and then you kind of had that debate of, and it doesn't have to be the main point of the film, but it's a kind of running question of, well, is it Venom's body as well now? Does he get to use it given he helps you out, or is it kind of? And I know they kind of dangled with that in the first one, but like this one kind of solidifies it. Like, should Venom have an independent life outside of Eddie as well?
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of the time, Eddie's inside Venom, so
Well,
how's
that's
it
it.
work
Yeah,
then? Like,
and and it's similar to the kind of Hulk story we were getting in the MCU of Banner only calls on the Hulk to fight, and Hulk doesn't always want to fight. It's
yeah,
that was the storyline until they scrapped it.
yeah,
And it's
pretty
Venom
much.
is like, Venom can be like, well, yeah, I was built for battle and carnage, or not carnage, but war. But at the same time, I don't always want to do that. Sometimes he fell in love with the skyline, didn't he, of New York? He's like, sometimes I just take your body up there and like watch it when you're asleep. He's like, wait, you put me on top of a building when I'm asleep? He's like, yeah. It's
Hey,
like,
pussy.
and then you kind of, I don't want to say start building conflict, because I don't want that to be the main thing for those characters going forward. But it is almost that kind of like, you're showing they're not in complete sync, like Cletus Cassidy is with Carnage.
Yeah, because you would imagine him, like if they do him how I'd imagine they do him, like he's gonna instantly take to this Carnage thing, and he's just gonna love it.
Yeah,
I would imagine
yeah,
anyway, considering how crazy he is already.
yeah. I mean,
I,
I'll watch it, but I'm not
but
super thrilled.
no, I mean, no, it's not like the thing I'm most excited for. But I think just because it's Woody Harrelson, that might be the only reason I want to watch it.
Yeah,
Well, I
I mean,
like
he
Tom
does.
Hardy, but I didn't particularly like the first film that much.
Yeah, it's interesting because Woody Harrelson is one of those really great actors, but I can very rarely like fan cast him in things.
Yeah, he's very specific. I
Yeah,
think it's probably because of his accent.
yeah, I suppose that's
But
true.
then, like I feel like he is perfect casting for Cletus Cassidy. But
Yeah,
again, is that just because of the accent?
I have this character, I can't think who it is, but so what Rick Flag's wearing in the new Suicide Squad like images, like the yellow t-shirt and tucked in.
Yeah.
I'm picturing him in that outfit with like maybe a bit of stubble.
Ah, Luke Cage.
Am I picturing just a white Luke Cage? Am I going to get cancelled for this?
I don't know. Are you?
But that kind of look like
I
a
can't think of
street
anyone else in like
a
a
street
yellow.
brawler. No, it doesn't have to be yellow, but like kind of tucked in t-shirt, so it's kind of
Maybe from like one of the Wreckers. Is that what they're called? There's like those four
maybe.
villains, and they're called like.
Oh, the Wrecking Crew.
Oh, there's it. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Is that because Nando V Movie cast him in that role in his rewrite?
Did he? I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I can very rarely put Woody Harrelson in roles like that.
I'm just hoping this film's good and that he's good in it. Well, I know he'll be good. It's just if he's giving a good enough script.
Yeah, and a good enough story, and they don't hold back and
because
do something interesting with those characters.
I'm paused on a screenshot of Carnage right now, and just looking at like it's sort of more interesting design wise than the Venom from the first film. I can't even remember who it was called. Was it Riot or something like that? But like
Riot.
Even like the spikes and the tendrils and all that coming off just looks so much more interesting. And like there's like the weird webby like web kind of blood splatters like hanging off him and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I remember I had a Marvel Top Trumps kit, or set, whatever you want to call it, and Carnage was one of the cards. It's quite funny actually because I remember thinking about the characters that were in it. I thinking like, who the hell are these people? And now like,
all of them.
I'm pretty sure it had Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Deadpool, Morbius, who I want to quickly touch on after this. Carnage, and I had all these people. I'm like, oh yeah, obviously that's so and so. And I'm like, what? I just had no idea who they were. But yeah, in that card, he looks real like. It looks like almost muscle tissues coming out of him.
Yeah, like stringy.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it looks horrible to look at, but at the same time, like, do that. Make him that. Don't make him just.
You got to differentiate. I can't say that word. Differentiate.
No, it's not just me then.
No.
Differentiate.
Differentiate. There's another word that I can never say. What is it? It's like innovative. It sounds like I'm saying innovative, but it's
innovative.
I always feel like there should be another N in there somewhere. I don't know.
See,
Anyway, not
I
relevant.
can't say the word. What's the word for your throat? The posh word, esophagus.
Sarcophagus. No.
No, not esophagus. The esophagus.
Phosophagus.
Oh, I thought that was a no.
Phosophagus.
Esophagus. I just can't say it.
Because there's that bit in that Kanye West song where he's like, I put that P word in a sarcophagus. Now she's claiming that I bruised her esophagus. Esophagus. It's esophagus.
Yeah, I can't. I can't say it.
What was I just saying? Phosophagus.
Yeah, you were just swapping around the suffix or the prefix.
Oh god, just hurting my
but
brain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
speaking of hurting my brain, what do you remember? Morbius got a trailer like last year.
Yeah, because that's been pushed back a little bit more. Hasn't it been pushed back by 1 week?
Oh, I don't know.
I never understand that, but yeah, like so. Because obviously that is Sony as well, and Morbius is a Spider-Man villain, but that has the Michael Keaton in it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think?
But is it the Vulture?
Do you think they're? Well, do you think they're pulling a WandaVision Quicksilver?
That's the thing. I don't think they'd want to do that. Like, I think they'd want it to be Vulture, but it's just whether or not they were allowed.
That's what I'm thinking. Are they putting him in there? But it's the Vulture, but we're not confirming that. And so then everyone goes, it's like, oh no, it's not. It's not Adrian Toomes. It's Adrian Ooms.
Or they just never mention his name, and that way they never have to confirm or deny.
Well, yeah. And then after the whole Ralph Boner thing, they're like, oh, that's a bit awkward. Can't do that again.
Maybe that's why they pushed it back a week, so they can delete all Michael Keaton scenes.
Just swap them out for, I don't know. Who else was a big person in it? Val Kilmer.
Who played
George Clooney?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just naming. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Val Kilmer.
I was thinking who played Superman's dad, because for some reason I'd put Michael Keaton in the role of Pa Kent, whatever, from Man of Steel, but that was
it's not Kiefer Sutherland, it's the other one. What is it? What's his name?
It's Dances with Wolves guy.
Kevin Costner.
There we go.
Costner. Yeah.
Kevin Costner. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So obviously, I suppose Morbius and this will be connected. Maybe
they're building up like a Sinister Six team. Maybe that was a plan. Sony builds a Sinister Six and then brings it over to the Marvel for.
Thing is, if they do this film well and Morbius is good, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But if this is bad and Morbius is bad, then I don't really want them touching it. Like, just leave it alone.
Apart from Spider-Verse, which they knocked out of the park.
Yeah, but that was animated. Different team of people.
And it was Chris Lord and Phil Miller, who can do no wrong. Was it Phil Lord and Chris Miller? I always get confused. What did I just say?
Sarcophagus.
Differentiate. Never differentiate between those two.
Anyway, should we start?
We can't differentiate between those innovative directors.
And it's coming out of my esophagus.
Mm-hmm.
Should we move on to the talk about the MCU slate that's been?
Oh yeah, speaking of Spider-Man 3,
yeah. So obviously they came out with the MCU, like We Love Movies or whatever that was. I'll link it I'll put it in the show notes if anybody hasn't watched it. Along with this, I suppose, do put some more effort into doing these show notes. Obviously it says it showed all the films that are set to come out between now and I think Fantastic Four, I guess, is the latest one the
last one, yeah.
So I suppose that's phase 4 and a bit of phase 5.
Yeah. Before we get going into the actual details of it, did you find it really like just really nice just hearing Stan Lee's voice again?
Oh yeah. I did see a thing though where it was like Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby like rolling in their graves, like them seeing them milking Stan Lee another time kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of heartwarming. Yeah,
because me and my sister started playing a couple of the Lego Marvel games. And like in every level there's like a Stan Lee you've got to save and like find a Stan Lee in every level and collect them all. And again, hearing him be like, "Hey, it's me, Stan Lee. Can you help me?" It's like,
it's just, guy. He's
I'm sad again. Yeah, he's like, "Save me." I'm like, "I wish I could, Stan. I wish I could."
Don't make me come down there, you punk.
He's like, "Marjorie, how's your mother?"
How's your mother?
That's the first time he's ever been allowed to be proper New Yorker.
Hey, I'm walking here. Good old Stanley. Anyway, so
about it.
The first,
Got my pen.
obviously the next thing to be released is Loki. But if we're talking movies, we're still waiting on Black Widow.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
So
Black Widow is the first thing to be it's the first thing to be released 2
yeah.
days before Loki. Or was it the same day now? Because Loki got pushed up, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it is first. But on
Yeah,
this list
same.
they've got here, for some reason they've got Black Widow after, even though Loki comes out after.
Yeah, the one I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, I've got Black Widow July 9th and then Loki June 9th,
Oh,
2021.
this
So
is
I'm guessing.
completely different.
Yeah, I wonder if the two will tie into each other. Do you reckon that's why?
Maybe. I mean, I know there was that scene in the Loki trailer where everyone thought it was Black Widow, but it's been confirmed by set photos that it was Lady Loki. They just looked like Black Widow from a distance. So I don't know.
Are they're doing a premiere service for Black Widow, aren't they?
Is that where you have to pay for it?
Yeah, so you pay £30.
Do you know what? Like, I would actually do it just because
for Black Widow, yeah, but for Mulan and Raya,
Last Dragon. No.
Especially when they announced when they were going to be for free. I was like, well, then I'll just wait till then.
Yeah, but I don't.
For me, that's when that film's released.
Yeah, but I can't wait for Black Widow. I have to watch it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's fine.
We might. I was going to say we could just have a watch party, then we can just pay once.
That is true, but then I'll have to watch it with all my lot as well.
Yeah, so we'll just do whatever.
Well, no, because then we just put it on one account. We'll sort out the details. We'll iron out the details.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. So Black Widow obviously is a long time coming. It was supposed to be last year. I'm really excited for this just because I like this more street level stuff a bit more.
It's like
I
that.
think
I don't know what you call this stuff. I guess like the espionage side of the MCU,
or like just like the street level brawlers kind of thing. Not like no magic, no flying around, no space. Kind of
So, like the Falcon and Winter Soldier and Winter Soldier and
like the Captain America films, Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier, even like down to like Daredevil, like just all that sort of stuff has always been more intriguing to me.
Yeah, and I fully agree. And like, it's a bit weird because I got David Harbour in it, who was just coming off when this was supposed to be announced, was just coming off the back of season 3 of Stranger Things, and like
it was funny because he goes to Russia at the end of spoilers for Stranger Things. He goes to Russia at the end, and then the next thing we see is him turn up as Red Guardian, the Russian Captain America. That fits a little too well.
Yeah,
Stranger Things MCU connected.
Oh, maybe the Demogorgon is going to lead the Avengers with Rocket Raccoon, who's going to show up in it. I like our ongoing plot of Rocket Raccoon to fit into any Marvel film.
I feel like we've got to keep that going, but also we've got to try not to overdo it. So how about no, what am I doing? Let's not plan it. Just make it natural.
Yeah. Because I mean, I am intrigued to see where they're going to go with this, because it's set after Civil War, but before
for Infinity War.
Yeah. But also I don't know if you saw earlier, they released character posters for it.
Yeah.
And it's got all the cast names, just like Scarlett Johansson and then Black Widow and Florence Pugh and David Harbour. And then for Taskmaster, there's nothing. So they're clearly hiding who that is on purpose. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people say that it's I can't remember her name. She's Rachel Weisz, maybe, is that her name?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people think it might be her.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I don't know. Obviously we haven't seen it, and I don't know what her character's like. But he does seem slimmer. Like he's not like a Captain America. He seems like, so I mean it could be her. Like, but I mean, I don't know. They clearly like you said, they're clearly trying to hide it.
Yeah. I am looking forward to this film. It ticks all the boxes for me. I'm
excited for Red Guardian.
Yeah, that, and also it'd just be nice to see Black Widow again.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Honestly, it was up until sort of Endgame that I wasn't as interested in her character, but then Endgame really made me like, I'm gonna say enjoy her, but it made me more interested in her character again. So it was like ever since Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I think that was her best sort of representation. And then after that, I started to get a little bit bored of her character. But then Endgame sort of brought that back, so it'd be nice to go back to a thing where she's sort of front and center, and we can see her sort of shine on her own.
I think it was, and mind you, this comes from a straight white guy, so feel free to call me out on it. But in Endgame, we finally got to see her be vulnerable. Whereas every other film, she seems. I mean, that was the same for everyone in that film. We saw them at their lowest points.
Yeah.
But we actually got to see her like she was no longer the Black Widow by that point. She was Natasha,
Yeah.
and she was trying her best, and it was overwhelming. And
She was like really about the only one holding it together, like essentially.
yeah, and it's almost like she was clearly doing it for her own self as well, like
Yeah.
because she says like, this is the only family I know. I've got to keep it going and keep it together. But is it just not worth it now? Or
yeah, I think
so, yeah.
also this story is going to be a more self-contained story because it has already happened in the past, which I think makes for easier watching, but also more relaxed because you're not thinking like, how is this going to affect whatever, like, because this has already happened, so it's nice in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, because the problem is when you do like prequels or flashbacks, like you worry that you can lose some of the tension
because you know where they're going to end up, I suppose.
Yeah, but then there's obviously other characters in this that can carry that tension, supply that, so you're not worried like, well, I know what's going to happen, because you don't, even though we haven't heard of any of these characters before anywhere else.
Yeah,
who's to say they weren't busy or off with Rocket Raccoon. But do you want to? Should we move on from Black Widow? Because we've still quite a lot to get through here.
So if we just go, should we just do the movies?
Yeah.
Which is Shang-Chi next, right?
Yeah, I mean that's not saying much. Everything is movies pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shang-Chi, the other one that we got a trailer for a few weeks back.
Which I'm really looking forward to this because I just want to see some good sort of martial arts.
Yeah,
I want the bad taste that was left by Iron Fist to be washed out of my mouth.
Yeah, and there's the moment in the trailer where he's on the bus and he grabs the people with his feet, and that gave me strong like Jackie Chan vibes.
Yeah, like proper classic kind of kung fu-y.
Yeah, I want to see that where he's like, who is it? Every Frame of Painting's done a brilliant video essay on like Jackie Chan and why it works, because he always tries to stop fighting, like in his films. Well, like from a character point, not like directorial and all this, because he directs them and he's got his own crew and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But his characters are like, they never want to fight. They're always like the underdog.
Yeah, like he's always like half running away, but also
and then
he's jumping over tables and stuff.
Yeah, and it's a setting that is sort of like that stands out. It's not in a dark alleyway.
Environment, like the environment and the way he uses the environment in the fights.
Yeah, that's
stuff
it.
Like that.
Yeah, and I kind of like the idea that like Shang-Chi fighting this person on a bus, but also still trying to save everyone on the bus at the same time.
Yeah, and he's like grabbing the people and flicking around the poles and.
Yeah, and I want to see him not use other people as weapons, but like he grabs someone by the bag as they're about to fall out window, pulls them back, and then like whips the bag off, hits someone with it, and then puts it back on them. And like again, that old school Jackie Chan, like 1, 2, bang, done.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's going in that kind of vein. It's exciting. It'd be nice to see an Asian sort of representation in like a lead hero as well.
Oh, absolutely. And like that dip back into the kind of mystical side of the MCU. I know obviously we kind of had it with Wonder Vision.
It's nice to see the mystical side that's used, like it's physical, it's fighting, but it's taking one element of the mystical side.
Exactly. And then, we've got the whole Mandarin plot as well, which I'm intrigued to see how they lead out. Do you think we're going to get a Ben Kingsley?
Please bring Trevor Slattery back in.
Yes,
please.
The only time Croydon has ever been mentioned in a Marvel film.
And that's the only time they should ever mention it again. Anybody ever. But no, I would love for them to bring him back, even for just like a funny little gag.
Yeah, like just boom, there he is.
Yeah,
because obviously there's the whole "All Hail the King" one shot.
Yeah, or even if like Shang-Chi says like when he finds out the name, the Mandarin or whatever, isn't it his dad or something? Anyway, but when he finds out the name, he'd be like, "Oh, wasn't it that guy that was threatening Tony Stark?" And then like flashes to like a scene of him in prison or whatever. Like, I would get a lot out of that, I think.
I want to see a real, mention of him. But yeah, looking forward to that one. I mean, the next one on the list is the Eternals, which also is coming out this year.
Yeah, we got little snippets of that in the movies thing, didn't we?
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like I should know more of this cast, but the only one I really recognise is Kumail Nanjiani. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Oh, is that the guy that got super ripped?
Yeah, he's
you don't know Salma Hayek?
Oh,
or
Salma Hayek in this.
yeah, or Angelina Jolie,
Oh, I recognise her. Gemma Chan, she's in it.
or the two guys from Game of Thrones, the two main guys, or two of the main
I've
guys.
never watched Game of Thrones. Richard Madden, wasn't he
Yeah,
the
he's
what
in Cinderella.
the bodyguard and stuff, isn't he?
Oh yeah. And then
With
obviously
Kit Harington.
Kit
Oh
Harington,
yeah.
yeah. Jon
Okay,
Snow.
maybe I'd recognise more
And
of
then
these people than I
there's
thought.
the other lady. She was actually in Captain Marvel, so she's actually doing two roles in the
Oh, was
MCU.
she?
Yeah, she was like the blue lady with the sniper rifle on the
Uh,
Kree team, I think.
is it Laura Ridloff?
Mm,
Lauren Ridloff, sorry.
I feel like I hope I'm not getting this wrong. But do you know anything about the Eternals? Because I don't honestly know anything.
Only a scratching surface. So they're essentially like this ancient race that just came to live on Earth.
Yeah.
Like they're super beings, but they just live there. And I think the idea is like, a bit like the mutants or the Inhumans, whatever you want to kind of link it to. They're just wanting to get by. They don't want to get involved.
Okay.
So where the hell have they been for the past, however many years while everything's been going down?
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a really good looking cast, and it's intriguing because obviously they only showed a few shots off, but even from those few shots, like Angelina Jolie with that like sword that's like made of magic, or I don't know what it is, but the fact that we're getting Black Knight as well, which means we're one step closer to Excalibur.
Yep, your favorite Marvel series.
I mean, I've never read or watched anything to do with it, but I just like the idea.
I'm surprised I haven't done Captain Britain yet.
Henry Cavill, do it, you cowards!
Oh, that would be so funny.
Imagine, that'd be perfect. He could do his own accent for once.
Oh, I do like that. I don't know who else I'd cast actually.
Just someone English.
Yeah,
it's got to be someone English.
The guy who plays David Platt on Coronation Street.
David, what? What?
That's what my mum and sister were watching when I left them downstairs.
Oh God, imagine.
The guy from the PlusNet adverts. Get him on it.
I'm not going to pretend I know who that is.
You know them. They're like the northern guy who does like internet adverts. You've definitely seen him. Well,
if I saw it, I'd know.
As an iconic British icon, and you don't know him.
What about the monkey from the PG Tips advert? He can be Captain.
Yeah, Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas.
You know what? And like, this is a genuine like point. If they want to go for like an older and then a younger one, I can see them doing this with like maybe Nova. So having like an old gruff retired one training the new one, Batman Beyond style. Sean Bean, that's Captain Britain.
Sean Bean.
Boromir.
What? Oh, Ned Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
As like an old disgruntled, like, bloody Avengers never helped me for nothing. I don't want to help them. I'm Yorkshire.
He could be Captain Britain, and his son, or his not son, Jon Snow, is Black Knight, and they could be on Excalibur together. Book it, do it right now.
Yep.
That's it.
And okay, all right. I'll call Kevin Feige after this.
Please could you, and also tell him he's not been replying to my emails.
Yeah, he's been a bit elusive with me as well. I don't know what it is.
Once people get big, suddenly they have no time for their friends anymore.
Yeah, come on, Kevin, hit us up. I've got a banging Venom script for you that I'm sitting on.
It involves eggs for some reason. It's always eggs.
if I forget to make a big time film, I'll definitely involving some eggs somewhere.
You have to. And Rocket Raccoon. Spider-Man 3. Let's move on.
Spider-Man 3. Yeah, I'm just reading it, and then the word Morbius jumped out to me. I'm just kind of reading the synopsis on that.
Morbius.
We do know Spidey will appear in one additional MCU outside of his third solo film, but in another twist of fate, Spidey's current troubles will be acknowledged in Sony's upcoming Morbius, a film set in its Spider-Verse and completely separate from the MCU. Or is it? Question mark.
Dun, dun, dun. That's the thing.
Oh, so Doctor Strange is going to be in this. That's like actually confirmed.
Yeah, I thought that. Did we not know that already?
I
don't even know.
I don't know if that's just rumored, like the other Spider-Man being in it, but I didn't know he'd actually been confirmed. I
think I read that it was WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man 3 were going to be like the three films that deal with the multiverse. And you got like a little bit of an introduction, then Multiverse of Madness. Or is that afterwards?
Multiverse of Madness is.
It is afterwards, isn't it?
Afterwards, yeah. In fact, I can give you the date right now. It
'Cause
is
but it was originally supposed
March
to be last
25th.
year. It was
Yeah.
So I wonder if they've changed anything around in terms of
Maybe.
story.
I suppose Spider-Man, if they're kind of shared with Sony, then maybe Sony have
Yeah.
like strict things they need to stick to and get it out by. Because they take all the merchandise and merch, don't they? So,
have
but
you
yeah,
have you got your phone, your microphone, by any chance?
I do. Yeah, sorry.
That's right. Actually, it's like.
Hang on, I've loaded the page. If I go onto airplane mode, it should stay there. How about now?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
right.
so what do we know? All we know about Spider-Man 3 so far is that we think it's going to have pretty much everyone that's ever been in a Spider-Man movie in this movie. Is that right?
Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon,
even
Strange.
The other two Spider-Man, even though they deny it.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Garfield said he never got cool, and it's like, Of course you did.
Yeah, but did you get an email maybe? Like, yeah. I mean, I like the idea of doing a live action. Oh yeah, from Kevin Feige himself. He's getting a massage. He looks up and it's him in his dumb hat, and he's like, "Come be in my film." Is that? that is a short film I want to make. Kevin, call me back.
Picturing Kevin Feige just giving me a massage. And I just turn around like, "Oh, Kevin!"
Just like
you were there.
Plot of Kevin Feige just following around every like A-lister Hollywood like actor and be like, yeah, so you're gonna be in my next Marvel film, yeah? Like, yeah, fine, Kevin. He's the one serving their coffee, like, yeah. When it comes to, like, I don't know, Sophie Turner, like in a Starbucks, and he's there and he's like, you want to be in it? It's like,
what are we talking about?
Idris Elba rolls over in bed and he's in bed next to his like, morning.
He's like, God, not again with this, Kevin. Come on.
Oh yeah, but Idris Elba's in the MCU. Oh,
yeah.
It's like, there's got to be an actor who hasn't been. Him.
No, every actor ever born has been in a Marvel film.
Simon Pegg. Wait, I feel like he has.
He's in The Boys. That's not Marvel.
He was in Star Wars. That's not Marvel, but it's Disney. And
Star Trek, but that's not Disney.
Yeah. Well, maybe Simon Pegg's right for the picking. Maybe he could be Captain Britain.
Or put him in Guardians, and then he's just done all the big space operas.
With Peter Serafinowicz.
Is that the Tick?
Yeah, he's the.
I still haven't watched the Tick. I should have watched that.
No, I haven't. But yeah, I mean, I like the idea of doing a Spider-Verse, but I feel like it's a bit too early.
It is too early.
The Spider-Man.
You need to give him his own film. It's about him.
Yeah, I want to know what this Spider-Man's problems are.
Yeah. But I mean, I suppose Spider-Man at the end of the day has been done to death a little bit, so.
Yeah, I suppose when people are like, I just want to see Spider-Man Adventure, it's like, we'll just watch the first three and the amazing ones. Like,
or play the PS4 game.
Yeah, well, yeah, do that as well.
Because that's probably the best representation of normal Spider-Man we've had a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disappointed with Far From Home. Homecoming is definitely, I mean, Homecoming is probably one of my favourite MCU films. I think I've said that before. I think it's like probably my third favourite. Yeah,
if you go back and listen to our episode on that, no spoilers. We're not going to tell you. You have to go listen.
Yeah, go listen, you little whiny babies. But yeah, Far From Home was a bit about. But I'm excited for this one because again, this is like in the best way possible. This is the like our Spider-Man is him now. So he's out of Tony Stark's shadow. He's his own established hero, fully fledged.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, fine, start doing crazy stuff. But I would have liked to have seen maybe one more film of him being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Around New York. I think it was Jack Howard said it best, like after Homecoming, like him climbing the Washington Monument is like the tallest thing he's climbed. And then if you rewatch that, obviously there's the bit with the plane, but like you don't see him swinging around the buildings of New York, not like Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield who do it like straight away.
We haven't had that scene till the end of Far From Home, have we?
Yeah, so I remember him saying like that could have been a really big moment of seeing Spider-Man finally swinging around those buildings. And I think that would have been quite a nice.
I mean, hopefully we get some of that in this, as amongst all the other stuff, including Daredevil, which apparently is going to be in it, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Right, series.
I would be happy. Just the last thought on that. I would be happy for them to do a Spider-Man story where he has to deal with like Tombstone or someone like that, and Daredevil. They just bring in Charlie Cox as his lawyer, and that's just the whole film. and like
Yeah.
maybe he suits up as Daredevil towards the end or whatever. But and I would be happy with them to not give any explanation about why
Yeah.
Daredevil is suddenly around. I wouldn't even care.
Yeah. I do like that they're doing like a, I don't know how it would work, but almost like I'm like a, not a noir film, but like a Spidey like road trip film where he's like, right, he's going to this park, he's got to follow Tombstone, he's been moving these weapons, or these weapons are showing up, so he takes it to, let's say, I don't know, Reed Richards, and he's like, you seen this? No, I have no idea what it is, but oh, okay, thanks. Blah, blah, blah. And then meanwhile, some like MJ's like, hey, there's a shipment coming in on the, or someone's like, hey, there's a shipment coming in the docks. He goes down, Tombstone's there, or Kingpin's there, and then he bumps into Daredevil and he's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, well, I've been following the Slate, and he kind of keeps just picking up random heroes on the way.
Yeah,
Literally for like a 2-minute cameo. Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like with this MCU, we're going to get to the point where you could just do that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Look at Winter Soldier and Falcon. Like that was the series. I was like, we want that road trip film. They're like, yeah, right.
Boom, buddy cup. There you go.
Give us a Hawkeye film. Yeah, okay. Here's a whole series. Like, oh, okay. Wow. We want to see Peggy Carter as Captain Britain. Good idea. There you go. Oh, okay.
Speaking of things we want to see, should we move on to Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, I didn't realize how many series were coming out as well this year. Like, I've just skipped past like 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I really don't have much to say about this because I feel like this is the one I know the least amount of, and probably the one I'm least excited for, but most intrigued for.
I think I'm just excited to see. You know how you had the first Avenger, and then you had Winter Soldier, and like the massive difference of like not quality per se, but it's just a completely different kind of film. And I'm kind of hoping they do that because Doctor Strange 1 was fine and it was good and it had good visuals and it was feasible and all that, but it wasn't incredibly interesting to me. And after seeing what they did with him in Infinity War, and what they've done in WandaVision as well, especially, I'm just really excited to see what they do in this and like the scope and just all the different kinds of magic. I'm just really looking forward to seeing all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes back to what I just said about Spider-Man. Like, this is just Doctor Strange who has been around now. And like, it's not an origin story. He is, okay, I am the Earth Sorcerer Supreme, Raw. So we can just literally just jump straight into a fun story with him.
And it's Sam Raimi as well, horror film extraordinaire.
Yeah, well, they said this is
going to be like a horror extraordinaire.
But they did say this is going to be like a Marvel horror film, didn't they?
Yeah, so I do wonder obviously Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. So I do wonder because Baron Mordo is also going to be in it.
Wonder.
So I do wonder if she's going to be the villain, or if it's going to be about helping her, or if she's just going to be a tiny part of this whole massive story. It's really intriguing. I just can't wait to see a trailer, but I'm not even sure if they filmed any of it yet. So
yeah, I think the magic stuff is the stuff I'm least interested in, Marvel-wise.
I think I prefer the space stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think because the space stuff has some truly mental things going on out there.
But we just haven't had a big magic thing other than Doctor Strange and WandaVision yet.
Yeah,
we're yet to truly explore it, which is why obviously stuff like Shang-Chi and this, I think it's really interesting. I still prefer the street stuff, but
what if almost that's going to be quite mystical.
Yeah, because essentially it's just other dimensions, isn't it? Like, or other realities.
Yeah. Well, maybe okay. Yeah, you've turned me around. I'm excited for it.
But I did it. Mission complete.
You're looking for this? Yeah, there's other projects I'm more looking forward to. For example, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
which is a nice segue on.
I think I'm excited for this. It's just Thor Ragnarok. While I really enjoyed it, I thought it had a lot of flaws in the sense like all the emotional moments were just overtaken by humor. And I love Taika Waititi. Like every other film he's done, I've really enjoyed. Every other non-Marvel film, but like I still enjoy Thor Ragnarok. I'm just hoping that when they do, I was going to say Multiverse of Thunder, then Love and Thunder, I hope they can dial down the humor in the right moments. Yeah,
because I can't remember if I said it to you on here or just in person, but like it became, again, going back to Jack Howard on YouTube, he made a line that like Marvel was becoming like predictably subversive. So, Ragnarok starts with Thor in the chain, he spins around and Surtur's giving this big speech, and the Thor drops, like, oh, hang on, I'm coming around again. And it's like, brilliant, like, fantastic, like, great. And then they do the same joke again, like, exactly the same. And then, where Thor has, in Hulk's room, where Thor has the ball and he throws it against the window to smash it and it bounces back. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, number 3. So then by the time you get the big moment where
Banner jumps out of the plane.
Jumps out, you know he's not going to turn to the Hulk because you're not setting us up to
Yeah.
expect these things now. You're expecting us to, well, the opposite of what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're
which I'm expecting now.
overly expecting the unexpected to the point where it becomes expected.
And like you do it, I don't want to say does it too much because I don't want people, as if he's listening to it from advice from me. But I don't want to get like, I don't want it to stop happening. But again, you're not leaving that room for the emotional beats and for it to breathe. Like when Asgard falls, there's that really touching moment where it's like,
we
the
can
whole story
kind of thing.
The story is Asgard is a people, not a place.
Yeah.
And then you get called going, oh yeah, we can rebuild the foundations. Oh, no, foundations, never mind what you're saying. It's like, why should I care about this?
Yeah, you completely just taken all of the emotional like weights out of that moment.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's essentially
you're just holding up a big like loser sign to everyone, all of the Asgardians, like you're fucking losers. We don't care about you.
Yeah, it's essentially Taika Waititi getting his knife and stabbing it through everything Kenneth Branagh will build in the first two Thors. I was like, nah, Guardians was better. We're doing that now. Sorry, go away. Come back again, old man. Right.
Yeah. So I just really hope this film has its own stamp and it's not just Ragnarok Part 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I think they will do, considering, obviously they're bringing Jane Foster back and she's going to become Thor, like the mighty Thor kind of thing, and doing all that sort of stuff. And Guardians are going to be in it a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be in it for the whole thing. It wouldn't surprise me if he's with them at the beginning and then he leaves to have his own adventure, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, again, I don't know how it's going to happen, but like, I can see them. Sorry, they're all on the ship talking. Like that shot in Infinity War where they're all listening to music and it kind of pans across them, one by one, and they're doing that, and like, Gamora's really bored and like Rocket's yawning. And it's Thor retelling this grand story of adventure, like, oh, we're on Asgard, we did this. About the time I killed the big snipe with the hand behind my back, and they're like, yeah, cool. And it's like, bing, it's like, oh, it's been Earth, it's Valkyrie, or whatever. Oh, do you want us to drop you off? Yeah, no problem. Pff, wait, hang on, what? Bang, throw him out
the fucking window.
Yeah, and it's just like dump him off, like, your problem now, bye, and just take off, and it's like, okay, hello, and he's like, for him, he's like, all right. Like unfazed.
I really wouldn't put it past him to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, so they're real kind of quick. Because that is the kind of thing I feel like Taika Waititi would do. I suppose James Gunn is going to be overseeing this as well, because the Guardians are that his baby. Like, build him up, like, yeah, they're going to be in it, and they're out.
He does all the dialogue, doesn't he, for like when they're in other films? I'm pretty sure. Like, a lot of the dialogue for them in Infinity War and Endgame and all that, he's there as like a executive producer, and he goes through that sort of stuff with them.
Yeah, I think it was like they made sure he made sure to pick the music for that Rubber Band Man song
at the start of Infinity War. Yeah,
and it was like, I think he has like a playlist of like allowed songs, and he had to pick the right one.
I like that though. I mean, it works. It's nice because he has his stamp. On that part of the MCU, and it works.
Yeah, and which I mean, I wouldn't mind Taika Waititi doing that with Thor going forward, like, Thor becomes his baby, but
just dial down the jokes in the emotional parts, and you will have an amazing movie.
Because let's not say Gunn's without fault. I think he makes a lot of juvenile jokes that don't always land. Like the amount of dick jokes in Guardians 2 is just like, all right, these aren't funny now.
It's a bit on the nose and on the penis.
So, what were we saying?
Taika Waititi with Thor, it's his baby and my baby. We made a baby.
Do you think we're gonna get Beta Ray Bill in this, real quick?
I could do. I mean, I don't know if they'd bring in a Beta Ray Bill and a Mighty Thor at the same time.
See, I'm thinking they might, because the whole like Thor isn't worthy of the hammer, and again there'll be that moment where
like a fight.
He'll go to call it, and it comes back, and he's like, "Yes, it's me." Oh, it just flies right past him and goes into Beta Ray Bill.
Do you wonder if that would just be like feel like a rehash of the whole Captain America Shield scenario?
Yeah, but almost like parodying it.
I mean, that is something they would do.
Yeah, and then you have to set Bill up beforehand. You can't just. I'm not saying this would be his introduction, but kind of.
I mean, he's had a mention, hasn't he? Like a brief, not like a talking mention, but in Ragnarok, the Grandmaster's building is all the heads. One of them is Beta Ray Bill's head. So he's around. He's around here somewhere.
yeah, it's introduced him and like, this whole kind of like Thor, you're not worthy, you're not out there saving the 9 realms anymore that you said you would. So now Jane Foster and Bay Ray Bill's had to step up, and he's like, but I can find a way of getting Mjolnir back to you, and then it's Jane picks up instead. And it's like, what? And it's like, okay, so you've got Bay Ray Bill and Jane, and Thor's like, I'm still here, like include me. And it's his story of, I don't know, make it about him being acceptant that just because he hasn't got the power of Thor, he still has the power of Thor.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think the most interesting film though is the next one, which will be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
That's it. We're cancelling you right now.
Let's see,
June 8th, July 8th, sorry, 2022.
There's some very glaring things here that I suppose need to be talked about. Is who is going to be leading this film?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, I really like the title. As someone who wasn't the biggest fan of Black Panther, the biggest fan of Black Panther.
Flank Panther.
Ooh, all right, we're getting into muddy waters here. The title is fitting, I think, and like they've already said, they're not going to recast. Yeah. And I like the idea of honouring Chadwick Boseman in this way, and
I was kind of hoping for something more in the Black Panther lore, something that I didn't know about. But obviously, I think the Wakanda Forever title fits the whole, in memory of Chadwick and all that sort of stuff, and it's really nice. I was expecting it to be more, in the same way that we get Captain America: The Winter Soldier, that kind of thing, like Thor Ragnarok. I was expecting it to be something to do with the more Wakandan lore sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I still like it. Yeah,
it may be a case of someone wanting to unite all the tribes of Wakanda breaking up, or someone hunting them down one by one, and that could be an interesting take. Is you've got maybe multiple Black Panthers running around, and that's you've got a Shuri, you've got an M'Baku, you've got a Daniel Kaluuya.
Bring back Killmonger. Everyone keeps talking about that.
Oh, they just shouldn't. Like,
they definitely shouldn't. But as good as he was,
it
would ruin completely ruin the end of the last film.
Yeah, but I'm intrigued to see what they do going forward, because obviously this was such a special character. I think that's the thing as well. I don't always remember is this isn't like a Benedict Cumberbatch passing, or I don't know, Ant-Man or something like that.
Yeah,
like Chadwick Boseman being the first front lead in a majority Black Marvel film.
Yeah, it's it's a massive impact.
Yeah, and I think it's someone like me, and I don't know, I can't speak for you, but I do forget that that was privilege of, I think, okay, well, that's sad, but I've still got my heroes out there, if that makes sense. Whereas
I know, and I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a massive loss, like, for everyone, but especially the kids out there that are looking up to him, because he's representing them essentially, and it's
and we're making strides towards it now. Without being too crass, you've got Captain America now, Sam Wilson, who could become this new figurehead. But I mean, Black Panther was the first one, and it was that kind of trailblazer.
He's
and
the
fact that Marvel could do that, make a predominantly black cast film, and it become one of the biggest films of all time. It's
crazy. I just hope that people give the second film the same energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will. I think this will be a big,
for sure. I would be happy with Shuri and M'Baku taking the lead. I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you need to bring in a new guy.
Nah.
There's a good enough cast there with Lupita
Nyong'o.
It's like with Angela Bassett. Like, there's so many good members in that cast that you could carry it on if the writing's correct.
Yeah, I mean, do you think? I mean, I'm only thinking this now just of what I just said. Like, the idea of there won't be a single Black Panther going forward now. It will be like everyone is the Black Panther, or those key people.
I wouldn't mind that, because if you did that, if you did Shuri, you did M'Baku, you did whoever, you could always put Shuri on this Young Avengers team that they are 100% setting up, and put M'Baku or the new guy, whoever it is, in with the Avengers.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, there's multiple Black Panthers around.
Yeah.
Similarly to like how in the comics now there's like, there's two Flashes. There's Wally West and Barry Allen, but they're both
Yeah.
the Flash because they're both kind of earned it.
Yeah, and like it's like you got an Iron Man and a War Machine. It's the same. It's the same difference. Like,
Yeah,
just because they both have similar powers doesn't mean you can't have two separate, intriguing characters.
100%. Yeah, I fully agree. And then that can tie into the whole, almost mirroring Thor Ragnarok, like Wakanda forever. It lives on past the country and in the people, and it's the people that make it what it is. And then you have these people carrying on this legacy of Wakanda and Chadwick himself to an extent. As it breaks down the kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like the traditions in the first one, they kind of broke down the whole keep Wakanda secret and for Wakanda. And I was like, no, we're sharing it with the world. And then it's kind of the same with the Black Panther. No, the Black Panther isn't for one person now. It is people.
Yeah.
It can be anyone.
Yeah, it could be you. Well, I mean, not you. But...
No, I should not be him. No. Funny, going back to what I was saying about the Marvel Lego games the other week, I forgot there was a Black Panther like pack you could like download, like DLC, all the characters. Obviously, at the time, I had no idea who anyone was, other than I think Black Panther and Claw. And looking through it, I'm like, oh, like it's got Shuri as the Black Panther, and it's like Dora Milaje wore it. I'm like, oh yeah, her. And then Bucko was like Man-Ape, like the comic Man-Ape.
Oh yeah. He's like a big white gorilla.
Yeah, but it's also got the White Wolf as a playable character.
Oh, well, is it? Is it Bucky, or is it the White Wolf from the comics?
Yeah, so it's essentially just a white Black Panther.
Yeah, because I think he's his brother or adopted brother, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, it's just so weird. Like, I know who all these people are now. This makes so much sense.
Oh, give Bucky a Black Panther suit, a white one, but make it look more like a wolf.
And make him the White Wolf.
That could be cool. Yeah, not make him Black Panther. I didn't mean that. Oh, God, no. Anyway, should we move on to the Marvels?
Yes. The Marvel. Oh, yeah, the Marvels. Yeah.
Strange. I think it's a little strange, I think, the title. It doesn't seem natural.
No, but then we have got the Miss Marvel series coming before this.
Yeah. So you got the Miss Marvel, and then obviously you got Captain Marvel, and they're probably going to bring in Monica Rambeau as well. But to call it the Marvels, it's like, I don't know. It just sounds a bit odd.
Yeah.
I'd much rather than call it Captain Marvel.
Because that means it's going to be Marvel Studios, the Marvels.
Yeah, Marvel, the Marvels.
So think of every trailer announcement always being like, Marvel Studios, the Marvels, now Burger King. Yeah. It's like, oh, that doesn't sound right.
It just sounds a little odd. But I mean, it's still intriguing. But I don't think we know nearly enough about it to really speculate anything. Because so far all we know is that there's going to be Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau. Like, hell, they could throw Blue Marvel in there and, Marvel.
Maybe they'll make
all sorts.
Perhaps they'll make Monica Rambeau Blue Marvel going forward.
Maybe. And then
I wouldn't be mad at.
No, but I suppose that robs them of actually being able to bring in Blue Marvel. Like the original. But I don't know, but I suppose she's also got two other Monicas that Monica that she could go by.
It's still coming together.
Photon and Spectrum, I think, is the other name she goes by sometimes.
Yeah.
Judging by WandaVision, I think Spectrum might be more likely, but then I suppose Photon is her mum's call sign, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is the first Captain Marvel felt incredibly rushed because they kind of had to catch up with Infinity War.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't get enough time to spend with Captain Marvel, but I mean, I think that was a problem with kind of setting her up already existing in the universe with her powers. It was like, well, hang on, we had no idea who this person is really. It was that whole kind of uncovering her past self, but we didn't get to go. We just had to go on that journey with her. But there's still this, 30 years of experience she's had beforehand that we don't know about now. We're like, well, hang on, we've got to play loads of catch up now and story following along, as well as the actual story going on and then plot with that. So I do feel like it was a bit rushed that time. So I'm hoping
they can take their time. They can craft a really good, in-depth sort of story.
Yeah, and just like let it breathe, really, and just
And it also, obviously, Captain Marvel is like a space character, like Thor, like the Guardians, but she's also an Earth character, more so than Thor. So I think they need to give her own sort of stamp, like her own area to go off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and she's going to be teaching Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau things going forward. But then I suppose they're going to be the Earth kind of anchors to that.
Yeah, because Ms. Marvel can't fly, can she? The current one.
No,
Can
she's just
she? Or is she just stretchy?
she's just like stretchy and can
Big
change her shape.
fists. Big fists.
Big hands, big old
Hey,
hands.
come down there, you punk.
I always forget that was his last like cameo. It's almost heartbreaking he couldn't hang on till Infinity War.
What's that? His last?
Oh no,
What?
oh no. Well, that was
What was his last cameo?
no the last no.
Endgame.
His last one was his last one was Endgame. Yeah, but Captain Marvel was the first film post. What's the word? Posthumous? Does that right?
First him dying. Posthumous.
Posthumous. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why
because
the
that was
intro.
before Endgame, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, the whole intro. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, that's why his like when he pops up in that one, when he's on the bus, it's like, hey, it's like, oh,
Yeah, you cutie.
yeah.
Cute little man. Old man.
I almost feel like Endgame. I wish in Endgame he kind of had a bigger one. Like
Yeah,
he got
I
to
suppose.
speak. He got to like speak to one of the characters, like and like Captain America, and be like, I don't know, thanks, buddy, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose at that point they'd already filmed it and probably would have been disrespectful to go back in and like CGI anything or change it or any of that sort of stuff. I
Oh
suppose.
yeah, no, I get that. It just seems weird
Yeah.
that for Endgame, such a big film, that
Yeah.
they didn't have something else ready to go. Like they just made like, is it a
Interesting.
real blink and you miss it? I'm surprised it wasn't.
Yeah. But I mean,
Almost,
it's yeah, they still like referencing it. What's wrong with me today? Referencing him in stuff going forward, which is nice. I'm pretty sure we saw him in the Venom trailer. Don't think we mentioned that earlier. He's on a magazine.
is he?
Yeah, pretty
Because
sure.
he
Anyway.
wasn't in. Obviously, he wouldn't have been in like Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff.
No. I'm surprised they didn't do what they did with the Netflix shows, where they just had a picture of him in the background. Unless they did and we just didn't see it. But I don't know. Maybe they thought it'd be disrespectful to keep adding him in after he's gone.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Oh well, I'll have to go see going forward.
Yeah.
I feel a bit bad that most we had to talk about Captain Marvel was Stanley.
Yeah, I suppose, but we just haven't seen a lot of it, have we? Like she was in Endgame for 5 minutes, so
yeah, that's it. And she hasn't been around enough.
Yeah, we need to see more. So I still am looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to all of these. I think, and the single one, I'm like,
oh no, not at all. I mean, even Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, even though that just sound like the last movie, just by title alone. But I'm still looking forward to it because I like Paul Rudd.
And this is introducing Kang the Conqueror as well. So,
oh, is it?
Yeah, this is here. Jonathan, played by Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Let me look him up. I didn't realize that. That's interesting. So, do you reckon this is going to be dealing with time travel and stuff as well? Then
I 100% think so, and I think it's probably going to. Given the next film after this is Fantastic, Guardians 3, sorry, and then Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I think it is going to tie into the Fantastic Four in some way.
Yeah,
I think they're going to kind of.
I think we've said it before, haven't we? Like they could be like stuck in the quantum realm, or they could be wherever, and that removes having to explain where they've been for the last few years, and you can still have them already established, or like stuff like that.
Yeah, like I love the idea of. It's funny. I think it was like one of our first episodes, wasn't it? Talking about like future Marvel projects.
Yeah,
and like I say, have them from the like 60s Jack Kirby kind of style comics.
Yeah.
Like that era, and then they get stuck in this quantum realm. So when they come out, they're 50, 60 years in the past, and trying to catch. I mean, not too much like don't want to make it too much like Captain America.
Yeah,
but that is wild when you think Captain America was technically like the distance between Captain America getting thawed out in World War II is nearly the same as the 60s to now.
Ooh, I don't like that.
How long was it? Did he say he was 70 years in the
almost 70? Almost 70 years. He says he's been asleep for almost 70 years.
So yeah, so what's this 2023?
Between 60 and now, it's been 60 years. So yeah, maybe give it like 5-10 more years, and yeah.
Well, it says Rotten Tomatoes reckon 2023 is when it will get released. Fantastic Four. So if you think, okay, so send it then plus the 5 years from Endgame, so that's 2028, and then go back 60 years. So that's 19.
Yeah, I suppose if you do take them out of time like that, I suppose that is very similar to Captain America.
But I don't know. That's why
I'm sure they can figure it out.
Yeah, so maybe Ant-Man, this Ant-Man film can kind of play with that or open the door for it.
Yeah, I'm just. Why do they have to put quantum on everything in those films?
I don't know.
Quantum entanglement, like quantum physics, Quantumania, like Jesus.
But they do call it out and hang a line on it, don't they? Like Paul Rudd says it. Like, you just put quantum on every word, like.
But it gets to the point. It's like just because you've self-acknowledged it doesn't make it any less like gratuitous. I don't know. I love Paul Rudd and I like Ant-Man. I think there's so much potential for that character, and I hope they make a more interesting film than the last one.
Did you not like the last one?
I did like it. I just on rewatch, I find myself getting very bored.
Yeah,
I think it's because I've seen you. I mean, you even saw all of the size changing stuff in the trailer, so it's like,
yeah, that's true. That was a bit of a letdown. I think my problem with this is the first Ant-Man film was, I mean, okay, it was a Marvel film, but it was more like a bit more street level. That's probably the most street level we've had, with the whole like heist and things. And now going to this Quantumania where it's like, oh, we're going to the quantum realm with different dimensions. It's like, oh, you're going like, way.
Yeah, why can't you just do some Ant-Man shenanigans? Why does it have to be like?
Yeah, like make them espionage sort of kind of like, films, but they're more fun. And it's things like, and like you got Paul Rudd's charisma, but put him in a serious setting. So it's a bit, like he's got to break into an old Hydra base for something and whatever. But maybe they're using this to kind of set things up going forward. Because I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp set him up to save everyone in Endgame.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, maybe that's just what they use Ant-Man for, just the kind of stepping off point for the bigger pictures they want to bring in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'd be good regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's next?
Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, Volume 3.
I think there's you don't. I don't think there's much of an explanation you can have for this because at this point, we don't really know anything.
No, and this is going to be so far off, like 2023. Yeah. That means it's going to be 4 years since we've seen the Guardians, which I feel like is going to be nice because by the time we get to that point, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I want to return to them now.
Yeah, you want some more of this. Yeah,
I mean, I'm like that now. If they announce the Guardians film later this year, yeah, cool, bang, I'll be straight on it. But
yeah,
I think by that point, you're a bit like Black Widow now. I'm like, yeah, it's been long enough. I've had a nice break, and I'm ready. Especially if James Gunn's had this long to work on a script and kind of come at it.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that they go back to using the Guardians like they did in the first film, like more subtly, like because the second film was just taking the fan favorite parts of their personalities from the first film and just basing their whole story arcs over that. Yeah, the whole characterization from that.
Yeah, they like flanderized them basically, which is like, yeah. It made Star-Lord a bit of a dummy, and
Drax was just all jokes. Like there was no stoicness about him. There was no, I don't know. It was a bit too much. Rocket was fine. Rocket can be everywhere.
Rocket is always fine.
Yeah,
put him in every film. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this.
Yes, literally, I was about to say. Yeah, I don't have too much to say yet, unfortunately.
Other than it picking straight up from Thor: Love and Thunder, where they drop him off or whatever. I would like to see those two scenes played out in different ways.
Yeah, because like you can literally see as they push him out the plane, but then in the Guardians film, you see him push him out, and then the camera doesn't follow him, and it just follows Star-Lord walking off into the ship or whatever. Yeah, and then it just plays off from there.
Yeah, and then you can even make a joke like to the audience, like God, that guy was annoying. God, I hope he just stays out of trouble now, or just imagine how annoying he'd be if he still had his hammer, or I don't know, whatever. Or if there was more of him, and then whatever they do, I'm sure they've got something better written than me.
Maybe we'll see.
But then the last one is Fantastic Four, which we know.
I think you missed one, didn't you? Blade.
Oh, according to my list, Blade hasn't been announced yet.
Ah, well they said it. I don't know if it was the last press conference, but they said it the one before because they cast Michelle Ali.
Oh right. Okay. Oh, we're just gonna. How far are we going up to?
Oh, I've just got a list here. I don't know. I just googled it. So let's talk about Fantastic Four.
Okay. I'm excited, but I have no idea what's coming. Just do what I said, please. Make them.
I guarantee they're going to do the exact opposite of what we think. Like it'll be very unexpected, I'd imagine.
Yeah, because I've never been a massive fan of the Fantastic Four.
I really liked the movies as a kid.
Yeah.
But then I grew up and found out apparently they were bad.
Yeah, I suppose the best thing about them is they are a family, like the Incredibles. So like play on that aspect. But then I want to see more of the family than the superheroes. So I don't know how you could do that in a film.
I think, like we said, if they do it really like, what's that? Not like the Jetsons, but like do like a classic kind of family dynamic scenario. and just make it very kind of cheesy sci-fi. And like, I think the best way to do it is tongue in cheek, because obviously that you got a stretchy guy and like stuff like that, doing a bit tongue in cheek, but like not like Guardians level humor, but like, do you know what I mean?
I love the idea of if we're doing this whole like stuff in the 60s, when they wake up, then they go back to their old lab, and obviously no one's touched it in the Baxter building for so many years, and it's just full of like you say, real Jetsons retro future tech. Like everything's got like those weird little circles on and like ray guns and that kind of
like
aesthetic.
the Michael Douglas's lab when they go back to the 70s, when he's at his Ant-Man lab, kind of like that, but like full of Fantastic Four shit.
Yeah, and real like spacey weird, like everything's like made of like there's like Tesla coils and like big copper pipes
and the big old dome helmets and like stuff like that. Yeah, I'd like that.
And then have your whatever character they put in to be the modern day Link, but all right.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. It's going to be interesting to see how they bring them in. But I suppose we've done a whole episode on that, haven't we?
Well, yeah. And again, we have absolutely nothing about them yet. So
nothing to go on, no castings, no plot points, nada.
Who's the listener? Okay, then you say we've got Blade after that.
Yeah, it's the only one that I know has been announced. I'm really looking forward to it because I think Mahershala Ali is a really, really good actor. And I like the Wesley Snipes Blade movie, so if they can do that in modern day, make it R-rated, please, because it's all about blood and vampires, so you got to show blood.
I think I've said it before, but I think they're going to try and use Deadpool as like a kind of test the waters on like an R-rated MCU film and see how they can get away with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think using an already established character like that, then it's kind of a green light to go ahead and do other properties in that style.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think that is a perfectly good business model that they're going to go off. Probably, maybe. It makes sense though. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but again, we know absolutely zilch about this other than casting. Do you think Wesley Snipes will have a cameo, or do you think they're trying to distance themselves from him?
I think he's been in a lot of trouble in the last couple decades, so maybe not. But I wouldn't mind. Make him an older vampire or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be fun, but I'm not. It's not like the Shafts film where they had to have all the other Shafts come back.
Yeah,
I'm happy leaving Wesley Snipes behind.
I think then it'd be interesting if they could like spin off him with like Moon Knight and the Punisher and Ghost Rider and all that, and do like a Marvel Knights type thing where you've got like the dark and grittier characters, stuff like that.
Maybe have them join the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Thunderbolts too. Yeah, it's just a lot of interesting opportunities that coming from these films.
This week, because I don't know if Blade is like a mystical side of the MCU or if it counts as like street level. I don't know how we're classing it really.
I think it's sort of, some of them bleed over, don't they? And I think he bleeds over in the sense that he is street level and he fights with a sword and stuff like that. But at the same time, he has got heightened powers, and vampires are sort of magical, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like Shang-Chi, how he's like he's street level fighter, but he's also got like magic sort of chi powers and stuff.
I suppose so. Yeah. It just seems a bit funny. Like, I wonder if we get some of the big characters appearing in these down the line. Like, we're getting a Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. Will we by that point be getting, Shang-Chi's Aquafina character in Blade? Like, there's going to be a point where it's like, oh yeah, cool, let's see them again. And
I mean, considering what they've been doing so far with just chucking other characters in stuff, we can't rule it out.
Who would be your perfect ideal combination? Like the most batshit.
What, in Blade or just in general?
Just in general. So okay, I want you to pick a lead character for a film, and then they're like team up.
Okay, just off the top of my head. Okay, we're gonna pick. I've suddenly forgotten every Marvel character to exist.
See, the first one that leapt out to me is, and only because keeping them on the same kind of plane is easier.
Yeah.
Ant-Man with Bucky Barnes. So you got this Ant-Man who's like, a bit goofy, and then you got Bucky who's like, oh my god, like more serious, and just wipes through every kind of bad henchman, and he's like, oh, thanks for doing that, but actually I needed him like conscious because I need to get the keys off him. It might be small, and like, thanks, man, but
See, when you said Ant-Man, I was like, oh, that's who I thought of first. And my first thought was Ant-Man of bloody Ben Kingsley's Mandarin. I don't know
okay.
how that would ever work or why it would ever work. That was just the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah, I mean, an obvious one would be like Spider-Man and Shuri, or
Oh yeah, there's
you
so
know,
many like
fun ones.
there's so many like little handmade like fan made comics about Spider-Man and Shuri, isn't there?
Mm.
But yeah,
Uh,
that has been that's the Marvel slate for the time
yeah,
being, as far as we know, not including TV shows, because if we talked about them, we'd be here for another 2 hours.
exactly. And that's only till 2023, which is 2 years away. That's
Oh my
mad.
god! It's because I suppose it's supposed to it would have included last year as well, but
Yeah,
thanks pandemic.
yeah, you go from nothing pandemic, ruin everything.
Anyway, I think we should wrap it up there. We've been talking for two
An hour
hours
and a
now.
half. Oh my god.
Yeah, the thing is, I find that
Jeez.
like we always have so much energy at the beginning, and then by the time we get to the end, we're like,
I mean, we are recording these at 9 o'clock in the evening, so I mean, we
yeah.
have no one to blame but ourselves.
We need to start doing these earlier, but every time we say that, and then we just end up being busy, and it's just like,
And it's like I get to a Saturday afternoon, I'm like, I should do the podcast now. But it's a Saturday afternoon, I really don't want
yeah, I just want to chill out. Not that this is a chore. I very much enjoy
No,
this, but
no.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, even like after work, sometimes it's like, oh, like should we record tonight? You think, oh, I forgot about that. Like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I need to find some energy from somewhere.
yeah, because like you don't want to like you don't want to phone it in, and I always feel like sometimes by the end of it, I feel like I'm just phoning it in, like oh.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So
I try.
for the sake of our poor listeners, maybe we should wrap it up there.
Yeah, let's wrap up. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. If you still are listening, I don't blame you if you logged off earlier, although you wouldn't have heard that now. Yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you for all the feedback on our Harry Potter episode last week. That was kind of a big pulse out. Nice entry point for anyone. So if you know anyone who's into this sort of stuff, go and check that one out first. It's a good way of easing in. We've obviously got our back catalogue of our Falcon and Winter Soldiers episode reviews and our WandaVision episode reviews, as well as a handful of other topics ready for you to listen to. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and my pen just broke, and Google.
No, I heard of that one.
Yeah, Google Play Podcasts, and anywhere you can get podcasts. We're on Amazon Podcast Chat, you know.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
I think it came out with what's the book thing? Audible.
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I'll have to look into that.
No, well, we might be on there. Give it an eye. Follow us on Twitter at Average Init Pod. Follow us on Instagram at the Average Initiative Podcast or the Average Initiative. I should really have these written down. Find us on YouTube under the same handle. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere at GeoDursley.
I'm at Reachmeister.
I genuinely had a blank on what your thing was then. I was like, Lewis is somewhere.
Lewis Meister.
Thank you to 5am Beats for our intro music. You can find them in the links down below, as well as Alicia Illustrations for our wonderful logo, which Lewis ever so kindly got printed on a poster for me. That
I did.
I put up on the wall and it came down straight afterwards. But don't worry, it was the blue tack that fell.
It was just the crushing weight of how successful our podcast was. Just took it off the wall.
I've got so much stuff to do with my walls, like putting stuff up. I just never got around to it. I've got so many frames just sat here waiting. That's a boring conversation. Yeah, I think next week
back to Harry Potter, isn't it?
Back to Harry Potter? Yeah, all right. Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, come back next week for our Harry Potter wrap up, covering books and films 5 to 8. Hopefully we won't ramble as much.
Yeah, we'll chop it up. Just flip it and reverse it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come with that one with more energy. We've got to promise
we'll do that. We'll do that during the day, and I'll get myself a nice ice cold monster.
Yeah. Thing is, if I have too much energy, you just won't get a chance to speak. I'm worried because
I'll be all right.
At the top.
I'll just shout at you. It's fine.
Yeah, you just cut me out in the edit.
I just won't even upload your track, your voice.
Just dub over it afterwards and be like, hey everyone, Lewis here. And George didn't shut up for like an hour and a half, so I'm just going to do my bit. It's like I'm in the room.
Sorry. Anyway. Oh my God.
So see you next week. Okay. Yeah, maybe we should just go to bed.
Yeah.
I'll be over in 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll keep the bed warm.
Right.
Anyway,
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, what's happening? See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye.